Growing up, I always wanted to be someone who was good at drawing. I was awed by people who could draw or paint anything they wanted. I had a bunch of books to teach you how to draw. I would spend hours watching tutorials on YouTube. And for the most part, I wasn't very good. At least from what I can remember. I would get really into drawing for a little while and then stop. Then a few years later, I'd pick it back up again, then stop shortly after. And I'd do that over and over. Each time wishing I hadn't given up and just kept on drawing. I always remember thinking I'd be so much better at this if I just kept practicing all of those years. And then sure enough, I'd stop drawing again. That was my learning journey until my junior year of high school, when I decided that I was not going to give up on this dream. I knew it was perfectly achievable to learn how to draw. I just had to figure out how. Despite having a few sketchbooks already, all barely filled, I went out and bought a brand new sketchbook. And my approach was this: no matter what, I was going to draw something every day. It's common advice that you hear, and I decided to take it. It didn't matter what it was or how long it took. I would just take a minute to draw something, anything. And shockingly, this is something I kept up with for almost a year. In the beginning, I felt like my progress was great. I was drawing a lot, and I was feeling more confident in my abilities. I even began to pick up painting around this time. But eventually, I started to plateau, and soon thereafter, fall into my old ways. I started to go weeks and then months in between drawing sessions. I just never knew what to draw. I didn't know what I had left to learn. And then when I moved out of my parents' house, I outright stopped. I threw away all of my old sketchbooks, and I didn't bring any art supplies with me. Some months passed, and I eventually started to miss drawing. But still, I held off on getting any art supplies. I thought that my art days were behind me. I wasn't going to do anything with drawing anyways, so what was the point? For some reason, I was under the impression that if I was going to do something, it had to be for a good reason. However, a few years ago, I came to the conclusion that there's nothing wrong with just enjoying the process. There doesn't have to be an end result, at least for me. My original goal was to be good at drawing, but I had no idea what good was for me. Some people could see my drawings and say I was good, but others might not. I decided I'd begin to draw and paint again, but only for the love of it. To create not to impress others or for some kind of award, but instead to do it with the intent of having fun and being fully immersed in the process and slowly getting better along the way. So last year, I bought a sketchbook and a set of pens and started to draw again. And a few months ago, I got painting supplies. I don't draw every day. I don't paint every day, but I don't think you have to. When I draw, I'm usually interested in a specific subject, like faces or cats, and so that's what I'll draw a lot of. And this intentional, more deliberate approach to drawing gives me little goals to keep working towards and improving my skill over time. It removes the pressure of feeling like you're making no progress or from feeling stuck. For me, it's much more enjoyable to look back and see how I got better each time I drew the thing I was interested in. And how what felt impossible to draw before is pretty easy to draw to me now. If any of you are interested in learning how to draw, this is what I'd recommend. First, set a goal. Be clear and specific with yourself. My mistake in the past was having my goal be way too general. Being good at drawing is subjective, but drawing a subject more accurately is specific and measurable. 2, there are different methods to practice. Drawing every day can be beneficial by helping you solidify a good habit, but don't forget the value of thoughtful, slow, and deliberate practice. You'll learn much more when you approach learning to draw from the mindset of growth. Drawing, like any skill, is not something you're born with. You have to learn and improve your skill over time, not overnight. If you don't know what to work on, try to break down your goal into smaller pieces. For example, if you want to learn how to draw a face, start first with learning to draw just an eye, and then try drawing a pair of eyes the next time. Or if you don't know what to draw or paint, try to participate in a challenge. My third tip, finding motivation. The best kind of motivation is the one that comes from within. Doing something for the love of it rather than for something external is much more effective. Another form of motivation comes from looking back at your progress. One of my biggest regrets on this journey was not keeping all of my old work. I look back on some of my drawings from last year, and I'm inspired by some of the things I learned. I would love to have my older drawings and really see how far I got along each attempt of learning to draw throughout my life. All I have left now are a few of my early paintings my mom still has up in her house, but man, I wish I had all of my old sketchbooks. For now, I'm finally at a point where I feel like I'm good enough at drawing. If there's something I want to draw, I can do it well enough to get it across. I've pretty much only drawn with the pen since picking drawing back up again last year. And I think drawing with only a pen is another practice that has helped me draw more confidently. This way, I can just focus on the progress. One line at a time. I can't go back and erase it. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. And until next time, goodbye.